Alright, what's up guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, we've got some OP16 action lined up for you. That's right, some mono black Yamato. And this is a very interesting looking new leader coming out of OP16, and we're going to be exploring what's going on here in today's video. So let's go ahead and hop straight into this just to lay everything out for you real quick. First things first, we're going to head over to the deck list and break that down and talk about some of these new cards and what's going on. And then after that, we're going to head over to the sim. We've got 3 different games to go over on the sim. And then after that, we're going to wrap up, we'll recap, and I'll tell you guys what I think about this leader moving forward. Okay, so let's do this, guys. I will have everything time-stamped in the general description, and I'll have all relevant deck lists and links and stuff like that in the comments section below. If you guys have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put those down in the comments section below, or hop on the VV Theory Discord. Link will be in the channel description. Today's video is sponsored by Nin Garden. Pre-orders for the Gesture Escape and Sky Tyrant playmats are now live. And for the month of May, the Dark Sovereign Bundled Collection will be on sale, just in time for the upcoming set. They also have a deal going on with their crossbody bags, where you can buy any 2 and get $10 off. So don't forget to use my code, the VV Theory, at the checkout for an additional 10% off. Alright guys, let's go ahead and break down the deck list for today's video, starting off with the leader. Yamato is a 5,000 power, 5 life, mono black, Land of Wano type leader, with the effect, when a Land of Wano type character card is played from your trash, that character gains rush during this turn. Okay? So, now we're going to go over all the different cards in the deck. Be sure to pause and read them if you don't already know what they do, but we will be spending some time explaining these new OP16 cards. Okay? So don't worry too much about that. Alright, so we're running 4 of the new 1-cost Searcher Nami, 4 Nico Robin, 4 Morgans, 4 Tony Chopper, 4 of the 2K counter Perona, 4 Kinemon, 4 Portgosti Ace, 4 Kazuki Odin, 4 of the 6-cost Yamato, 4 of the 2K counter blocker Sabo from PRB02, 4 of the 8-cost unblockable Yamato, and 4 of the 8-cost on play Yamato, and then 2 of the 0-cost event 6 King Pistol. So, I have to say, this is pretty much everything from OP16 that you see on the screen here. Today's video is not meant to show a perfected list. It's just me showing off the new cards that are available on the sim. I just went right down the list here and just right-clicked each one to add 4 of each one of these copies to my deck. The only card that I did not do that with was actually this Bartholomew Kuma. I replaced this card, which is a 3-cost, 4,000 power, 1K counter character, with an on-play, draw 2, trash 2, and then give up to 1 Rested Dawn card to one of your leader characters. I replaced this card with Morgans because he's just a 3-cost, 4,000 power, 1K counter blocker with on-play, draw 2, trash 2. But I guess if you're trying to be more aggressive, you can go with Akuma. But if you want to be more defensive, and I think just in general this card's better because I'd rather have a 3-cost 4K blocker than a 3-cost 4,000 power body that had an on-play to give 1 Dawn. Right? Hopefully that makes sense. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. But everything else on here, I just added 4 of it to the list, and I went from there. The only real revisions that I made was, let me show you guys what that looks like, by the way, if you were to do that. Here's what it would look like. You go Nami, right-click, Nico Robin, Tony Chopper, Kinemon. Let's just right-click Kuma for now, just pretend it's the Morgans. And then 4 Ace, 4 Odin, 4 Yamato, 4 Yamato, 4 Yamato, and there's still 10 spots left in the deck. And what I did with that is I added 8 2K counters and 2 of the 0-cost 3K counters. And again, like I said, instead of running Kuma, I'm running Morgans, so the list looks like this. So there has not been any kind of revisions whatsoever. I just added 4 of everything that is available on the sim right now for OP16, just so I could get some reps in with this new leader and try to figure it out. Now, now that we have that out of the way, let me go ahead and explain what's going on with each one of these cards. So Nami is just very simply a top 4 searcher. It adds a Land of Wano type card to your hand other than Nami, and then all the rest goes to your trash, right? So top 4 search, grab a card not named Nami, that's Land of Wano type, the rest goes to your trash. Very simple, very straightforward card here. Then we have 4 Nico Robin. This card's actually really good, I have to say. This is a 1-cost, 2,000 power, 1k counter character with an on play that makes you trash a character with a cost of 8 or more from your hand, and you can draw 2 cards. That's actually really nice if you think about it, because you're basically playing this card out, getting an 8-cost card like this Yamato, either of these Yamatos in your trash, and then you're drawing 2 cards. So you're going neutral in hand size, and you're getting a character on the board to help battle into some of the maybe the smaller characters or the searchers or whatever, and then you're slamming down, or excuse me, not slamming down, but trashing these 8-cost Yamatos into your trash so that you can slam down these later with another effect we'll look at in a minute. The Nami and Nico Robin, these are actually perfect for the beginning of the game. I think Bandai really did a great job with these cards. Okay, then we're running 4 Morgans. This is all the way back from OP13, 3 sets ago now. That's crazy if you think about, being an OP16 where these cards, where Yamato's coming from. Morgans came out 3 sets ago. And this is just this was never a crazy card or anything like that, but it's a really nice high utility card. 3 costs, 4,000 power, 1k counter blocker, draw 2, trash 2. It's just to help us get to the next stage of the game and fill up our trash and fix our hand. Tony Chopper is pretty much the exact same idea here. This is a 3-cost, 4,000 power, 1k counter character with an on play that says draw 2, trash 2, and then KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 1 or less. And this card, I think it's kind of more of a filler than anything right now. I would rather replace this card with something a little bit better if more options become available as we see more and more cards from OP16. But the card's fine for the time being. It is a Land of Wano searchable card, which is important, just in case we don't want to whiff any of our searches right with Nami. So it is at least Land of Wano searchable if we need it. It can KO a 1 or less. And then, of course, you have the draw 2, trash 2 built into it. Okay, now this card right here, Perona, this is just a 2k counter from OP06. Nothing special here. This card's been around for a while. Then we're running 4 Kinemon. This is a new searcher from OP16 for the Black Land of Wano stuff. 4 cost, 6,000 power character. This character gains +3 cost, so on the board they're a 7-cost character. But they have an on-play effect that says if your leader has the Land of Wano type, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck and reveal up to 1 Land of Wano type card and add it to your hand, and then trash the rest. So again, we're filling up our trash with our Nami, our Nico, Robin, our Morgans, our Chopper, and with Kinemon, and we're fixing our hand all along the way. Okay, this card's actually really nice. A 4-cost 6k, and it fixes our hand. Really good stuff here, and fills up our trash. Okay, then we're running 4 of this Portgasti Ace. This is a 4-cost, 5,000 power character with a 1k counter with an on KO that says your opponent trashes 2 cards from their hand. So they're going to be highly discouraged attacking into this card. They don't want to attack into this, or they're going to lose some cards from their hand. But then we also have an activate main once per turn that says give up to one of your Land of Wano type leader or characters up to 1 rested Dawn card. So this card can sit on the board and just keep giving Dawn to your leader, and you don't even have to be afraid to attack with it, because if they KO this character, they lose 2 cards from their hand. So this card's pretty solid, but it doesn't feel incredible to play out, I will say that. And I think in all the games we're going to see today, I don't even know if I play this card out even a single time. It's just one of those cards where it just feels like there's always something better you can do rather than play this card out. But I don't know. If you guys have had a different experience, please tell me in the comment section below. But I'll say this right now. The first up on the chopping block so far has felt like Tony Chopper and Portgasti Ace. These cards have not really felt all that great in the deck. Okay, at least, again, from my initial testing. Next up is Kazuki Odin. This is a 5-cost, 6,000 power, 1k counter blocker with an on play that says you may trash 1 character card with a cost of 8 or more from your hand and draw 2 cards. This card is really solid, just like how Nico Robin is. You trash an 8-cost character or more from your hand, you draw 2 cards, and now you're fixing your hand in that way. You're getting these 8-cost characters in your trash, and you're going from there. This Kazuki Odin is pretty decent, and it's a blocker, and it's a 1k counter, and it's Land of Wano searchable. This card was pretty solid in my testing. Nothing crazy. I don't know if it'll stay as a 4 of if I keep if it even stays in the list, as we as we try to figure this list out, but it was pretty decent. Okay, next up is this Yamato. We're going to spend some time talking about all 3 of these Yamatos, so let me just talk about these last 2 cards real quick. 2k counter Sabo, this is from PRB02. This has been in the game for a while. Pause and read this card if you don't know what it does. And then, of course, we have this 0-cost 6-king pistol. Some people might be thinking, yeah, isn't that a block 1 card where that's rotated out? And guys, apparently something happened with a lot of the 0-cost events, and apparently those were reprinted where they are still legal in the new, in standard, however you want to say that. So I don't know what the ruling was on that specifically. If you guys know, please tell me in the comment section below. But just understand that apparently a lot of these zero cost events from Block 1 are actually still legal in standard. I don't know which ones, but I think it might even be all of them, from what I understand. Again, someone help me out in the comment section below if you know more about that. But luckily, the sim already has it figured out because they have a way to hide the rotated cards. So let me just type in 0. So notice 6 King Pistol is in here, and hide rotated adds a bunch of extra cards to it. And, you know, I don't know how else to say it. Apparently, this card is legal in standard. Okay, now, let's talk about Yamato for a second here. So there is a whole combo engine built into this deck that goes with the Leader's Effect that allows you to give your Land of Wano type characters played from your Trash Rush, and with these Yamatos down here, all 3 of these different Yamatos. The first one we're going to talk about is the main one. This is the 6 cost Yamato. It's a 5,000 power character with a 1k counter. It's actually a very weak stat line. However, it's not really meant to attack with, from my experience. You're just meant to play it out, fix your hand, and then use the activate main. So why do I say fix your hand? Because this card has an on play to draw 1 card and trash 1 card from your hand. And then activate main, you may trash this character and play up to 1 black Yamato character card with a cost of 8 from your trash. Okay, well, what can we play from our trash? Because remember, it will have Rush per our Leader's Effect. Well, the first one is this 8 cost unblockable Yamato. It's an 8 cost, 8,000 power character with a 1k counter, has unblockable, and it has an on KO effect that says play up to 1 cost 6 or lower Yamato from your trash. That can play out this Yamato if they choose to KO this character or attack into it. And yeah, that's basically what this card's on KO effect is for. Just in case they want to get rid of this card, okay, no problem. We're going to get a 6 cost Yamato back, right? That's the whole logic there. And remember, this card will have Rush if we play it from the trash with this 6 cost character's effect per the Leader's Effect. And then the second Yamato, this is the more powerful one in my personal opinion. It's an 8 cost, 8,000 power character with no counter, and it has on play add up to 1 Land of Wano type character card with a cost of 6 or less from your trash to your hand. Notice it just says a 6 cost or lower Land of Wano type character. That's actually really nice because there might be a point in the game where you have multiple Yamatos in your hand, the 6 cost, where you can play one out and then cheat out this Yamato from your trash, and then you don't have to grab another Yamato if you don't want to. You can actually grab some type of utility card if needed, and hopefully a 2k counter. That's a card, that's something I want to talk about at the end of this video. I had to go with the 2k counter Sabo and the 2k counter Perona because currently in the sim, there are no black OP16 2k counters in the game at all. There are just simply none of them. So that is something that I would really like to be able to snag from my trash with this on-play effect in the future whenever I do have the extra Yamatos in hand, the extra 6 cost Yamatos. But let me finish this card's effect. So on play, add up to 1 Land of Wano type character card with a cost of 6 or less from your trash to your hand. Then play up to 1 Land of Wano type character card with a cost of 2 or less from your hand. And I have to do my first little complaint here. I'm not trying to be too negative, but I really wish this Tony Chopper was a 2 cost 3k instead. I wish this was a 2 cost 3,000 power character with a 1k counter and the same on play effect, because as is, the card's not bad, but I would rather just play this Morgans in the place of it. And the fact that I can't cheat this card out with this 8 cost Yamato, how do I say this? I think you'll see when we go over the games in today's video, there was a lot of times where I would play out this Yamato, I would grab a 6 cost or lower character from my trash, and then I had nothing to play out from my hand that was cost 2 or less. Like I would grab back the 6 cost Yamato, and then I'd have no 2 cost option to play from my hand. So who knows, hopefully the 2k counter options that Bandai gives us from OP16, hopefully those will be really good 2k counters that we can also pull back from our trash with this Yamato's effect, or maybe play them out or whatever, right? Now, one thing I will say is, I already kind of gave this example earlier, but this card right here, there were times where I would play this card out just to grab a Nami or a Nico Robin from my trash, because they're both Land of Wano type, just to play that off the second part of the effect and to get their card draw abilities. So this Yamato was really, really nice. And don't forget, if you play it from your trash, it's going to have Rush per your Leader's Effect. Okay, so that's pretty much what every single card in the deck list does. Now, what are we trying to do? This is a pretty aggressive list from my, again, from my very limited experience, my initial play testing. You kind of just want to fill up your trash as aggressively as possible with cards like Nami, Nico, Robin, Chopper, Kinemon, and whatever, and then you just want to start chaining these Yamatos back to back to back. It's a very simplistic, straightforward game plan, and yeah, who knows? Maybe there's going to be some room for improvement in the future, and we haven't even seen all the cards from OP16 yet, obviously. So there could be some cards that help add a little bit of depth to this leader. But I really hope there is something, because I'll say this: this deck list for Yamato, it almost feels like, okay, find this card, or your deck just doesn't do anything. So if you can't find this Yamato by your 6 or 7 Dawn turn, it just feels like you're not doing anything. It feels like, okay, I have a bunch of, kind of like suboptimal cards, and even, I don't want to say like a suboptimal leader effect, because the leader effect is very powerful if it has enough support to fuel it, right? But if there are no other cards that fuel it in this list, I guess is what I'm trying to say. There's really just this Yamato right here. And if you don't find this card in time, it feels pretty rough. I'm not going to lie. So hopefully Bandai will give us at least 1 or 2 other decent cards to run in, in Black Yamato. But we'll have to see. That's up to them. But I will say this, generally speaking, there's usually 2 SRs per color per main set. And the 2 SRs that we have are Yamato and Kinemon. These are both from OP16. So I don't foresee any extra SRs coming out of OP16 unless they've changed something recently. I have no idea. But I would like to see some type of card that can cheat cards out of our trash to combo with this effect right here, or excuse me, with this leader effect. I think that would make things a little bit better. It doesn't even have to be a card as powerful as Yamato, where it cheats out these 8-cost characters. I just need something. I just need something that can help me play stuff out of the trash, and then go from there. And remember, guys, it does have to be Land of Wano themed. So yeah, that's pretty much that's what this deck is doing. It doesn't sound like much, right? Because it really isn't. But once you get this combo going of the 6-cost Yamato, that's where the ball starts. You can really get the ball rolling at that point, where you're like, okay, play out the 6-cost Yamato, draw a card, trash a card with the on-play effect, and then trash this character with the activate main, and you pull out this 8-cost Yamato or this 8-cost Yamato. It goes onto the board. You're swinging for 8,000 right away, and then, you're grabbing the Yamato back and going from there. The main combo in this deck is this 8-cost Yamato with this 6-cost Yamato. The 8-cost on-play Yamato, not the one with the 1k counter, not the unblockable one, the other Yamato here. That's the main combo. You go, okay, play out the Yamato, draw a card, trash a card, trash this card with activate main, and then pull out this 8-cost Yamato, grabbing the Yamato back. And then you kind of just rinse and repeat from there on for the rest of the game. And I need to see some 2-cost cards to combo with this character's effect. That's what really felt missing when I was doing my play testing, because notice it says, then play up to 1 Land of Wano type character card with a cost of 2 or less from your hand. Well, we don't even have any cost 2 Land of Wano cards in all of Black, I think. Let me see something. I didn't actually search like this. I guess we do technically have this card. I guess this card would have been better than nothing. I didn't even search this card up, guys, as funny as that is. This was a card we technically could have run in the deck as a 2k counter, but I don't think I would have actually ran this card over the Perona, but maybe I should have, actually, because it's something, like I was saying, I could at least grab this card back with this part of the effect and have a 2k counter in hand. I did miss this card in my first testing, because like I told you guys, I just typed in OP16 and went from there. I didn't even think there were any extra Black Land of Wano cards. This Ryuma, I guess this has some potential. I didn't try this either. There's 2 Ryumas on here that we could test out in the future, the 4-cost and the 3-cost. And whatever this card is, guys, I'm not even sure what this card is. This is a 3-cost, 4,000 power, 1k counter character with on play, add up to 1 Smile type card with a cost of 5 or less from your trash to your hand. Don't think we'll be messing around with this card, but you never know. But yeah, for the time being, like I said, guys, I did focus mainly on the OP16 package. And I need a 2-cost option to play out with the second part of this 8-cost Yamato's effect. And yeah. All right, that's enough yapping about that. Let's go ahead and head over to the sim and see this deck in action. All right, guys. First game up is against Black Yellow Marshall D Teach. Let me make sure the volume is off, the speed is on 2x, and we are good to go. All right, we got a game here against Black Yellow Teach. And I will give you guys the warning up front here. We're in 2x speed, but my opponent does play pretty slow. They might have been a newer player, so we do have to be aware of that. We have to be respectful to the best of our ability in these kind of situations. We got to be nice, right? because you never know, it could be a newer player. And, but yeah, they do take a little bit of extra time on each one of their turns. I think you guys will see that, but that's okay, right? That just means I'll be yapping more for this. I'll have more time to yap in this during this game. So they went turn 1 Lafitte, we go turn 1 Nami. I filled up my trash and fixed my hand a little bit. I play out the 1-cost Nico Robin, getting the 8-cost Yamato in my trash to draw 2 cards. Okay, very nice. We have a really, really strong curve this game, and we're going second. That's something that I should have mentioned in the deck list breakdown, is we do want to go second, so we can go turn 1, preferably double searcher like that, or even just 1 searcher's fine. And then turn 2, we can play out the 4-cost Kinemon and fix our hand even more, fill up our trash even more. And then turn 3, we can start playing out our 6-cost Yamatos, and just rinse and repeat for the rest of the game, as long as we can keep filling up our trash with the 8-cost that we want to pull out that brings the 6-cost back. Okay, so they attack in for 6,000. We take that hit. They played out a Lafitte. We're going to swing for 2,000 into Lafitte. Let's see if they want to save this card. Probably not a good idea to want to save this card this early on when I have 3 attacks that can go into it if I need to. Okay, they're going to let that card go. Very nice. And now we're going to swing for 5,000. They take that hit pretty aggressively there. And then we're going to follow up with a 4-cost Kinemon, fixing our hand, and getting a bunch of cards in our trash. Okay, and in that situation there, let me actually go back and look at that real quick, what we searched up, the options we had. Okay, here we go. Pause. So in this situation, we probably actually should have played out the grabbed the 1-cost Nami or the 1-cost Nika Robin, probably the Nami actually. And that way, what we could have done, remember, all the other cards from Kinemon go to your trash, so we could have let all of these cards go to our trash otherwise, and then we can pull them out with the Yamato, and then the Yamato that we play out from the other Yamato's effect, right, allows us to play that Nami from our hand on this following turn here. And remember, these 8-cost Yamatos would already be in our trash from the Kinemon's search effect. It trashes the rest of the cards. So that was actually just a slight play mistake there. I definitely should have just grabbed a 1-cost Nami in that situation. Okay, so we played out the Kinemon, we attacked for the turn, we passed the turn back. Our opponent is on a 5-Dawn turn now, and we have kind of a perfect curve going on here, where we are going to be able to play out the 6-cost Yamato next turn, draw a card, trash a card, trash the 6-cost Yamato we just played out to pull an 8-cost Yamato out of our trash that can attack immediately. Okay, so the black-yellow Teach player plays out a 3-cost Burgess. They attack in for 7,000. We take that down to 3 life. We're going to do a bunch of little attacks here, 5k attack, 6k attack. They 1k counter out of the 5k, they take the 6k. Now we're going to play out the 6-cost Yamato, trashing an 8-cost Yamato, pulling out the 8-cost Yamato, and then we grab the 6-cost back with that effect. And here we go. We had no card to play out, so we had a slight play mistake there. We should have grabbed that 1-cost Nami from that previous search with Kinemon. But that's okay. I think we'll be able to make do with what we have here. We're going to swing for 8,000. They're going to 2k, 1k, 1k. That was a very, very aggressive way to counter out of that. I think I would have probably just taken the hit at that point, especially if they're going to be gaining a life this turn anyway. But like I said earlier, guys, this might be a new player. We got to be nice. Okay, they attack in for 5. We 1k counter out. They attack in for 6. We 1k counter, or excuse me, we 2k counter out. And now they're going to pass the turn back as soon as they realize that. Again, we're just waiting for our opponent here to pass the turn back, guys. They did gain a life, and it is a Burgess, which means when that card goes onto the board, or excuse me, when we deal damage to them, they can activate the trigger to trash a card to play the Burgess to the board. Okay, so that is actually a very powerful combo there. Okay, so now the turn finally gets passed back to us. They might have just forgot, you never know. And now we're going to start with a 5k attack. I think we might go 5 with a Nico Robin here, maybe. No, we're not going to do that. Excuse me, I thought we had 9 Dawn. I thought we had 9 Dawn. So we're going to play out a Yamato first, and then we're going to... I think we're actually going to attack for 6 into their leader, and then 7, and then 8. They play out the Burgess. Or actually, we're going to go 6, 6, and then 8. They get a Dock Q trigger, which got rid of both of my 1-cost characters. Very nice. But we're going to cash in on that Yamato now to grab a Nami from the trash with that effect. Let's go back and talk about that for just a second, guys. What just happened there? What did we do? Okay, so right here, let me hit play, and we're going to pause as we go through it. So I click on the Yamato. Hang on, let me hit play. So I click on the Yamato. I did this effect first, just in case I attacked in and they had some type of trigger that could have KO'd my character or something. I didn't want to risk it. I don't think there's many effects like that, but who knows? Maybe if they had like a Silver's Rayleigh as as a trigger, they may have been able to deal with me there, or with my Yamato. But we're going to activate main. trashing the 6-cost Yamato on the board, grabbing an 8-cost Yamato from our trash. This card will now have Rush from our leader's effect. Now the on-play effect of the 8-cost Yamato is going to happen, and I can grab a character that is Land of Wano type and a cost of 6 or less. So we already have 2 other 6-cost Yamatos in our hand, so we're actually just going to grab a utility card here that's going to be able to get played off the second part of this effect. We're going to grab the 1-cost Searcher Nami and now play it out off of the second part of the Yamato's effect, and we got to fix our hand, fill up our trash, and now we're going to swing in for 2 8,000s here, or an 8,000 and a 9,000 maybe. Okay, so 8,000's coming in here. They're going to have to be able to get out of this one. Okay, they redirect the attack over to the Burgess. We lose a life. And now we're going to swing for 9,000. They're down to 0 life. Okay, we have a pretty decent board here of a 6K and 2 8Ks. And we also have a 2K as well. I mean, it's not nothing, right? We can attach Dawn and swing with that if we need to as well. Okay, they're starting to attack into my board. I 2K, 1K. So they're swinging for 8K into 6. I'm using a 2K, 1K to get out of each one of these, a 2K, 1K for one, a 2K, 1K for the other. And now what are they going to do? I think they're going to load up 3 on their leader, if I remember this game correctly. And they're going to swing for 8,000 more into my 6K, and I'm just going to save it with 3 1Ks because I have lethal next turn. So they're going to go ahead and concede there. They pass back. There is nothing they can do to survive next turn, right? At least in this, with this current board state with no life and seeing the cards they have in their hand. No matter what they do, I can just get around it, right? Because even if they play out that Vasco shot, which is a 1-cost character with an on KO, if they redirect an attack over to Vasco shot, it can rest down one of my 6-cost or lower characters, right? Okay, well that's literally only my 1-cost Nami. It cannot hit my Yamatos, and it cannot even hit my Kinemon because they have +3 costs built into their package. So there's pretty much absolutely no way they can survive this next turn. So they do concede. I totally understand that. Maybe if they could have gotten rid of one of my Yamatos, they might have been able to if I'd done some bad sequencing or something like that. It's hard to say. Either way, good game to my opponent. They were in a really tough spot there. Hopefully that gave a bit of an idea of how Yamato works. We're trying to just fill up our trash, and then we're just trying to repeat every single turn this 6-cost Yamato play. Okay, good game to my opponent. Let's move on to the next one. That was against Black Yellow Teach. Now we have a game versus Black Yamato. Okay, let me go volume off, full screen, speed 2x, and we are good to go. Okay. So we're going to be going first. This is a mirror match here. OP16 Black Yamato versus OP16 Black Yamato. They got to go second, which I think is preferable. But we're going to go turn 1 Nami, and then we're going to play out another Nami, swing for 7. They had no turn 1 play. It looks like they must have just top decked that or drawn into that Nico Robin, because otherwise they would have done it on turn 1, right? They swing in for 8,000. We take that hit. We're on a 5 Dawn turn, which is a very awkward turn. We have an Odin in hand now. I think we drew into that, though, with the Nico Robin. Unfortunately, we can't play that card out right now, but we do play out the Kinemon. We fix our hand, we fill up our trash, and we're doing pretty good right now. We're in a pretty decent spot. So we did attack in for 5. I think they countered out. I missed it last turn. They played out the Kinemon. They're fixing their hand, and now they can swing for 6,000 maybe. They're going to swing for 5,000. I think I am going to 1K counter out of this with the Odin, because now that I've gotten to this point of the game, I'm probably not going to be able to do any kind of special follow-up Odin plays here. Okay, so we swing for 5,000 to get a card out of hand. Then we play out a Yamato here. We're going to use that Yamato. And I think I should have attacked for 7 with the Kinemon first. That was just bad sequencing. We're going to play out we're going to trash our 6-cost Yamato to play out the 8-cost Yamato, and then we can cheat out this Nico Robin. We trashed a card with that effect. We drew 2 cards, and now we are off to the races. We are really starting to attack here. Okay, we play out another Nami to fix our hand, and we're full of just 2K counters in hand, guys, and just really good utility characters. They play out a Rebecca. That's interesting. So it looks like, remember guys, everyone is still trying to figure out how to play Black Yamato from OP16 right now, and it looks like this guy's experimenting with Nefeltari Cobra and Rebecca. That's very interesting. I'm not sure about the Cobra, but I do like that Rebecca tech. That could be pretty decent. Okay, they attack into my board. I will be saving that. I'm not going to let them have Kinemon. I give them a 2K counter. So now I'm just going straight for their board. Watch this, guys. You need to do, I need to do a video on this eventually, talking about commitment. Watch what I do here. I swing for 5,000, okay? Watch what he does. He gives me a 1K counter, or a 2K counter, actually. And now I go 6 into his board. I'm saying you're going to have to give me your cards from your hand now. He blocks out of the 8K attack. He only has 5 cards left in hand. I'm going to play out a Morgans to do a draw 2, trash 2. And then I have 6 Dawn left. I'm going to play out this Yamato over the Nico Robin, or actually over the Nami. That makes more sense. I'll play out this Yamato, cheating out the 8 cost. I grab a 6 cost with the effect here. I don't have anything to play out with the... actually, I do have something to play out with the Nico Robin, but why would I? I can't use the on play because I have no 8 cost character in my hand. But then I attack into his 6,000 power body with an 8,000 power character, and now I have full board control. I just did a bunch of very low investment plays early on, and I was able to capitalize on my opponent's board because of that, right? And on their hand. Okay, so they do their 6 cost Yamato trick to cheat out the 8 cost unblockable. They thought they were going to be able to get my Kinem on there probably, but I have a lot of counter power in hand. Even though I couldn't block to save it, I just have a ton of counter power in hand. Okay, well, here we go again, guys. I already have my play lined up. I want to play out another 6 cost Yamato, so I'm going to start with a 5K poke. Okay, they give me a 1K counter, and now I'm going to do another 5K poke. Let's see what they choose to do. They give me a 2K counter, and now I'm going to do, I think at this point, I'm going to do some 8K attacks into their Yamato, because I can really start going for the board now. I swing for 6, they give me a 2K counter, I'm going to swing for 8, they give me the blocker, I swing for 8 more, they're down to 2 life. Now I'm going to play out the 6 cost Yamato, rinse and repeat here, guys, playing out the 8 cost Yamato. Grabbing a card back from the trash that costs 6 or less. We grab the 6 cost Yamato. We swing for 8 into 5. And I think I could have tried to go for their 8 cost Yamato, but I don't think we need to. I think we're in too commanding of a position here. I have the Morgans. Okay, wow, they're playing. So I did see a negative holo in their trash, and now I see the, and we already saw the Rebecca, and now we're seeing the 7 cost Luffy. That Luffy does make a lot of sense. It does make a lot of sense in the stack. That could be decent. But here we go, guys. We're going to swing for 9,000 a bunch of times here. That's the game plan. Swing for 9, swing for 9, swing for 9. And it was going to be swing for 9 more and swing for 9 more. I think it was going to be, let me see, it was going to be 3 9s here, and I have 7 Dawn left. 3 on Kinemon to swing for 9. 4 more for my leader swing for 9. Yeah, it's just... They were a 7,000 power leader, which is very good. Yeah, that's a very tanky stat line, but it doesn't matter when we have this many large bodies to play out. So it's hard to say. I don't know if we'll be able to make room for that Monkey D. Luffy. And check this out, guys. Check out this list. They were also running a 2K counter Shirahoshi. That could be decent as well. I like to see what everyone's cooking up with these new leaders. It's always fun to see what everybody's messing with. All right, well, good game to my opponent. That was a fun one. We got one more game left. We have a game versus Blue Buggy. Okay, again, great game to my opponent. They were really cooking with that deck list, weren't they? Okay, here we go. Volume is off. Speed is on 2x. Blue Buggy is a very tough matchup. Let me tell you right now, this leader is a real nuisance. It's a real menace. And we're going to talk about some things as this game goes on, because there's times to go for life and there's times to go for the board, right? There's time to attack into life, there's time to attack into the board. So we're going to play out the Nami to fix our hand and fill up our trash a little bit. They swing for 6, we take the hit. They play out a Mr. 1 Das Bones, and now we're going to play out this 4 cost Ace, I think. Nope, just kidding. We're actually just going to play out this Chopper here. I preferred that play over the Ace because it let me fix my hand, because notice I'm searching for the card I just got there, the 6 cost Yamato. So we swing for 5, they take the hit. Okay, and now we're just going to pass the turn back. Oh, excuse me, they had a trigger. They had a draw 2 and then place 2 on the top or bottom of your deck trigger from the Slave Arrow, and now we pass the turn back. They're on a 5 Dawn turn, swing for 6, we'll 2K counter out, and now they're going to have 4 Dawn available. And let's see, okay, they're going to attach 1 Dawn to their Mr. 1 Das Bones. They're going to swing for 6K. And now they're going to play out a Mr. 2. They have 1 Dawn active, and there's 2 1-cost events that Buggy will probably be running. And one is Slave Arrow, like we already saw. And the other is Gum Gum Champion Rifle, I believe it's called. You have to be very careful of that one. But we have all these 1-cost characters on the board, so we're protected against that event. Okay, so we swing for 5K. They give me a 1K counter. We play out the 6-cost Yamato, draw a card, trash a card, trash this card with the main effect. With the main effect, and then play out this 8-cost Yamato, swing for 8,000. Watch what they give me here, guys. Double 2K counter. I said, oh, really? Okay, well, if that's the case, if you're going to do that, I'm going to attack 2,000 into your 2,000, and let's see if you want to give me another 2K counter, but put it on the board, right, with the leader effect. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that is in that situation there. So pause. Let's talk about that. Okay, let me go back to where, here we go. So they have 4 cards in their hand. I'm at 3 life. I have a very good board state. I'm not in jeopardy of losing the game or anything like that right now. So if you attack, so let me explain like this for those who are not aware. For blue Buggy from OP16, they have a Dawn ×1 once per turn effect, where if one of your cards would be removed from the field, then you get to play out your 6-cost Prisoner of Impel Down card. This card right here, it's a 6-cost, 6,000 power character with a 2k counter on it, and it says, per the rules of this game, you can have as many of this card in your deck as you want. It's something like that. I can't remember the exact wording. So, in other words, if we attack 2,000 into 2,000, they can play one of these Buggies out from their hand. I just saw them put 2 into their trash from swinging 8,000 into their leader, so I know if they have any more in their hand, I would love for them to put that on the board. Get them down to 3 cards in hand, and I can keep attacking into their board like that and actually get some control of the board. Because otherwise, you see what's going on here. Every time this Buggy player attaches a Dawn to this, I think it's Mr. 1 or Mr. 2, one of them can just pretty much swing for 5,000, or excuse me, 6,000 almost every single turn. So I just deal with that card right now, and yes, they do replace the card from their hand, but they were going to swing for 6,000 with this card anyway next turn, right? That was my logic on it. So what we end up doing here is, okay, so we attack into this card. Okay, we swing for 2,000. They let it go. They use their leader effect. They cheat out the 6 cost. Everything's going good. Everything's going according to plan. I want him to turn that card sideways, and I'll just keep attacking into it. He's going to have to start bouncing it. Okay, they swing for 6,000 into my board. I'm going to let the Nami go, of course. And I will say this, if Buggy becomes a very strong deck in the format, we're going to have to start carrying more 2k counters in our decks when we're doing our deck building, our deck construction. Okay, they play out that Mr. 3, which lets them draw 2. They trash it to lock down my Yamato where it cannot attack. It does become active, but it cannot attack. And when they did that, they were able to play out a Prisoner of Impel Down. And now we're going to swing 2,000 into 1,000. I'm fine with them. Okay, they use a Gum Gum champion rifle there. I have to return an active character back to my hand per that card's effect, and that's fine. They do save the card, but now we're going 5,000 into 1,000, and I'm okay with them letting this card, go and getting another 6-cost card on the board. Or do they have any left in their hand? There's nothing to, there's no way of knowing for sure if they even have a card like that left in their hand. So we play out a 6-cost Yamato here. We're going to trash it with the effect here to swing into that Impel Down, Prisoner of Impel Down character. We're going to swing for 10,000 into 6 just in case. I don't want them to be able to save this card. Okay, let's see, do they have another one in hand? They don't. So they're all out of that Prisoner of Impel Down card. They're all out of those cards in their hand. Okay, they're going to play out a Mr. 1 Das Bones, a Miss Olive, pulling the card back, and they forgot to attach a Dawn to their leader, but maybe it didn't matter. We already knew they didn't have Impel. Actually, they pulled back an Impel Down card. So I think, hang on, we have to talk about this turn. There were some things that should have been done differently here for sure. Okay, we got to go back to this turn. Okay, play. All right, here we go. So we swung 10,000 into 6,000. That card goes away. They have no more Impel Down characters in their hand, or at least Prisoner of Impel Down characters. And now let me see what they do here. Excuse me. Okay, never mind. They played out the Mr. 1 Das Bones. They pulled that card back to their hand, but they forgot to attach a Dawn to their leader, which means they can't play out a card from their hand, right? You have to attach a Dawn to get that effect off. But that's assuming they even have a card like that in their hand. They might not have drawn into another Prisoner of Impel Down. Okay, here we go. I like seeing those cards sideways, guys. I really, really enjoy seeing those cards sideways on the board when my opponent has less than, has 5 or less cards in hand. We're going to swing for 5,000. Does he want to respect this attack? He uses a... Oh, that was brutal. So that was a misplay on my part. That was just an absolute misplay. We could have gotten around that, I think, maybe by attacking with our character first, and then we would have been fine. Well, maybe not. We did have 2 characters. Either way, it happens. That was a huge punish there with that Gum Gum champion rifle. And now we attack in. Hang on. So they did. I'm sorry, guys. I got to quit yapping. So let me talk about this play right here. They attack in for 5,000, or excuse me, we attack in for 5,000. They use a Gum Gum champion rifle to make me bounce one of my cards back to my hand, one of my active characters. Okay, so that's what happens here. Huge punish. I should have noticed they had 1 Dawn up, but I think I missed it during the game. And now I'm going to pull back the card with a counter on it here, so that way I can at least use it as counter power in my hand. But now I'm going to attack 8,000 into 6. And I don't have any more of these 6-cost Yamatos. I don't know what happened there, guys. I just don't have any more of them. I think it's because I didn't see enough of the 8-cost Yamato that pulls the card back from the trash. Okay, here we go. So we play out a Odin here, which is a blocker. We play out a Kinemon. We play out a Nico Robin. We fixed our hand a good amount here, but I'm looking. Look at this, guys. I only have 1 6-cost in the trash right now. I only have one of my 6-cost Yamatos in the trash, and that's really slowing me down. They're going to swing for 7,000 here. I do take that hit down to 2. I do have a blocker still. They're going to play out a Jozu, bouncing my guy back to hand, and yet again, they forgot to attach a Dawn to their leader to play that card back out. Maybe they just want it for counter power. I don't know. Whatever the case is, I think they should have replayed the card out. They should have attached a Dawn first. That was just a mistake on their part. Okay, here we go. And from here, we're just going to just poke them at this point. We're not going for anything lethal. We have a really good 10 Dawn play here, 4 Dawn for Kinemon, and 6 Dawn for a Yamato. We have a perfect 10 Dawn play for this stack. We're going to swing 5, swing 6, swing 8, swing 8. All right, here we go. So we swing for 5. They counter out of that. We swing for 6. They're going to block, and they're going to let that go and play out the Prisoner of Impel down anyway, so they end up getting that on the board for free anyway. They play out a Slave Arrow. They're going to pull back the 2K counter, trying to survive at this point, I think. I think that's the whole logic there. We play out the Yamato. We're going to cheat out the 8 cost from our trash. Playing out the 8 cost Yamato, that lets us grab back the Yamato. Very nice, and now we're swinging for 8. Okay, they're in a tough spot now. They can't win on this turn. There's just no way, right? I have too much counter power. They only have 2 attacks. I have 2 life. So even if they had some kind of special rush card, I think I could get out of something, right? I mean, I have a 0 cost 3K. I have a 2K, a bunch of 1Ks. There's pretty much no way I lose right here. Okay, they're going to swing for 7. I am going to respect that attack. I'm going to completely respect that attack with the 0 cost 3K. And that way, now they have just no chance of, like, knocking me down to 0 this turn and going from there. 9,000, I will take that hit. Now they're going to play out a Crocodile, pulling back the, never mind, not pulling back the Jozu. I guess they want to leave that on the board. Okay. Hey, that is one decision. Let's see what happens here. We're going to swing for 5. I'm kind of daring them to block at this point, right? Okay, well, once you block like that, I will now be directing all of my attacks to your board. Because I can play out blockers, I don't feel like I can lose, even if my opponent cheats out one of the Impel Down characters. It doesn't matter to me, because I have 2 blockers I can play from my hand. So 6 and a 6, my opponent's going to have a long think on this one here, because they need to determine, okay, should I let this card go? The answer is yes. Do I play out a Prisoner of Impel Down? The answer is yes. We swing for 8 into 7. He just has to give me his whole hand now, guys. Like, that or just let the card go. I guess he could just let the card go, because I'm not going to go for lethal with these remaining 3 cards. So swing for 8,000 into 7. Gets out of that one. Sure. 7 into 7. And now we're going to follow up with a Morgan. Okay. Just trying to figure out how I want to do this, I think. I figured out that I could swing for 5,000 because I can play out a Morgan and the 2K counter Sabo and have 2 blockers. Okay, no trigger. Play out Morgan, draw 2, trash 2, and now play out the 3 cost Sabo. He's a 6 cost, but he only costs 3 right now because I have more than 10 cards in my trash, or more than 15, or whatever the condition is. I'm down to 3 cards left in my deck, by the way. Like, this game is coming down to the wire. They're going to swing for 9,000. Okay, here you go. Here's a free block there with the Morgan. They're going to swing for 6. I can just 2K counter out of this with the Sabo. Yeah, they'll go 6 into the board. We're definitely getting out of that one. 1K counter, and I think they're going to concede here pretty soon. Actually, never mind. I think they do stick this game out. We're going to swing for 7. So here's the options. This is either going to get both cards out of their hand, and then I get to swing 5 with my leader, and then 8, 9 with my Yamatos, or he takes the hit and we swing for 9, 9, and then everything else on our leader. There's basically no way to get out of this. This is kind of like calculated lethal. Perfect, he got out of that, so now we swing for 5. He has no cards. It's going to go through. I'll swing for 8,000 with my first Yamato, 9,000 with my second Yamato, and there just is no way out of it, right? Okay, 8,000 into 5. Okay, just waiting for my opponent to figure out what's going on here. I guess maybe they're just maybe they're thinking right now, like, what card could I get that can save me from this situation? Even if they had a card that bottom decked my 8 cost Yamato, it wouldn't matter because I have a 6 cost Yamato in my hand that would let me attack in for rush. Right? I could trash that card and play something from my trash to swing in for rush. Okay, swing for 9,000. There just is no way out of this, even if it just doesn't matter, right? Because they can only have 2Ks or less in hand. Even a 0 cost 3K wouldn't help them because that would just be 3K. Okay, now, good game to my opponent. Let's head back over to the deck list and talk about this one more time before we wrap this video up. So there's a few things that I really want to see moving forward for this leader for support. Hopefully they just haven't revealed it yet. Hopefully it still just has not been revealed for OP16. I want to see some better 2-cost options to cheat out with this 8-cost Yamato. Because this card right here is extremely good. It's doing a lot for the deck. You know, the combo, of course, is this 6-cost Yamato into this 8-cost Yamato, get back this 6-cost Yamato for next turn, and then cheat out a 2-cost or lower character. okay, we have a few options here for our 1-cost Nami and our 1-cost Nico Robin. But can we get like a 2-cost blocker? Like even something like, hang on one second, let me go blocker and 2 for the cost. If we could get something like this, even just a 2-cost chump blocker like this Idio, or even preferably something like this Zoro, that would be nice. I wouldn't complain about that. Give us a Land of Wano version of Zoro. That would be incredible. Something like that would be nice. Or maybe even some type of removal prevention type of card. I don't know. Just something we can add to this list to cheat out with this Yamato. That's the first thing I want to see for support. And again, like I said, hopefully we just haven't seen it yet, and hopefully it's still to come. But the other thing I want to see is more interactions with my trash. Like, I need to see a card almost like, I think we just saw this in one of the games, which was really cool. Someone was playing this 4-cost Rebecca. This is a really cool card right here, but I need a version that is made for Yamato that pulls out a Land of Wano type card active so I can attack with it. And that's my other big gripe or concern or whatever, is if we can only really capitalize on this leader's effect with this 6-cost Yamato, I feel like that really is going to lower the power level down. That, like, the potential ceiling of this deck is going to be exponentially lower if we can only just rely on this single card. Now, yes, once we get this card going, it's insanely powerful. But what happens where we play a game and we don't see our searchers to see this card in time, or in some cases, what if one of the cards is in our life and the other 3 are at the bottom of our deck and we just never see this card? And that's where I would really, really love to see some type of other card that has a similar effect. It doesn't have to be as powerful, by the way, but just something that lets us get something out of our trash. Maybe even something that can get this Kazuki Odin out of trash, or this 4-cost Ace or Kinemon out of trash, and just at least lets us, like, attack in with that. Even if they made it into, like, something like this Rebecca. What if they gave us, like, a something for the going first curve, for the odd curve? Maybe give us a 5-cost blocker just like this Rebecca that's a 0-power 1k counter character, Land of Wano type, that has on play up to 1 4-cost or lower card from your trash, or a 5-cost or lower Land of Wano card from your trash, and then we can attack in with the leader's effect and all that stuff. That could be really nice. But as is, having to fully rely on this card, it can feel kind of gimmicky at times. And when you don't see this card, it feels really, really terrible. Now, some other things to consider. This is so that's really the 2 main things I want to see for this list is better 2-cost options to combo off of this 8-cost character here, and then maybe another character like Yamato that lets us get some type of extra value from our leader's effect. And if you guys can think of anything that's already in the game, please tell me, right? Please tell me something, in the comment section below, like, hey, try this combo. Because remember, guys, we can't run a card like this 8-cost Gecko Moria anymore. This would have been perfect, right? We play out this card right here, we pull out a 4-cost card like this Ace, and then, one of these 2-cost or lower cards here for the searchers, and then we can actually, attack in with the Ace right away. But again, we can't do that. This card's not legal. Let me see something. Yeah, when a Land of Wano type character card is played from your trash. So we just need something like this 6-cost Yamato. So those are the 2 main things I want. And the third thing we might want to consider, now we're just talking about cards to consider for the deck. We already talked about that 4-cost Rebecca. I do like that card quite a bit. I think that card's really solid because it can help us grab this Yamato from our trash if we need to, if we had to counter out aggressively or something. I don't know. But on a 10 Dawn turn, it is worth mentioning that we could play out a 4-cost Rebecca, still have 6 Dawn available, pull the Yamato out of the trash with her on play effect, and then from there, we can play out the Yamato for 6 Dawn later, and, not off the Rebecca's effect, but we can play that out for the remaining 6 Dawn and go from there. Now, for cards we could include, another one is this Crocodile. The 4-cost Rebecca is a good idea. I like the Ground Death, but this Crocodile might be really good for the list. Maybe as a 2 of, something like this, like to have 2 of these. I don't know if we need this 6 King pistol, but we can run that card if we want to. But this Crocodile could be really, really solid because this is an 8-cost card. So worst case scenario, we trash it with this Nico Robin. It just says trash 1 character card with a cost of 8 or more from your hand. Draw 2. Okay, no problem. We can trash this card if we need to. And then who knows, maybe at that point we can even work in some other support, like from the 4-cost Babe. I think it's Mr. 4 Babe or something. Yeah, add up to 1 character card with a cost of 8 or less with a type including Baroque Works from your trash to your hand. Maybe we can mess around with something like that. I don't know. Maybe that's going too far. It might be like trying to do too much. But bottom line is, I do think that this, even without that Mr. 4 Babe inclusion, I do think that this Crocodile could be pretty decent in the list. Just a good card to slam down, especially if you went turn 3 going second, right? Turn 3, slam down Yamato, get out this Yamato to pull a card back to your hand like this Yamato and do whatever. Next turn, you get to swing for 8,000 and then slam down a Crocodile to lock down their board a little bit and go from there, right? That could be really, really powerful. This is worth considering. We saw the one player using Ground Death. We saw Rebecca. We saw Shirahoshi. And that's really kind of all that I was thinking off the top of my head. But who knows? There's a lot of other options that have not been explored. I'm sure of that. And we still have to wait for some of the support to come out from OP16. Because remember, guys, this is all that's available on the sim right now for OP16. So we'll have to be patient and wait for more stuff to come out. Okay, let me get this. This is the deck we were using. I got that on the screen now for y'all to check out as we end this video, as we sign off here. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. Have you come across any really cool combos? Okay, there was one more, wasn't there? I'm sorry, there was one more, and it was Hakuba. This card right here. This card is I have seen people mess around with this card as well. It's a 5-cost 6K 1K counter character. Dawn ×1. When attacking, you may KO one of your characters other than this card and give up to one of your opponent's characters -5 cost. So maybe if we do include the 8-cost Crocodile, then maybe we could run this card as well, because this lets us KO our Yamato, and it also lets us KO our Portgosti Ace. And that can give us some really massive value over the course of the game. This could be a card worth considering for sure. And if I were to do any future testing, like at the moment, if I were to try to do any kind of testing right now, I think the first thing I would probably do, I actually would get rid of this Ace if I'm being honest. I would get rid of the Ace and I'd go +4 of the Hakuba. I think I would keep the 6 King pistols in here. I think I would get rid of the Perona for the Momo. This 2K counter, I think this is Land of Wano searchable. It just says Wano on the sim, but I think they just shortened it like that. It's probably Land of Wano searchable. If not, tell me in the comment section below. And then for the final stuff, I would probably go -1 of this Kazuki Odin, and I think I would even go -1 of this Chopper. Yeah, I think I would go -1 of this Chopper, and then I'd go 2 of the 8-cost Secret Crocodiles. Maybe even 3. I'd consider going up to 3. And yes, I do prioritize the Morgans over the Tony Chopper, because I don't think this is a card I'm going to be searching for, right? It's just not a card that I would search for. I would rather just play out this Morgan if I have it in my hand over the Tony Chopper. I get to draw 2 Trash 2 and get a blocker down. So yeah, this is probably the future direction I would mess around with. And who knows, maybe instead of this 6 King pistol, we could run Ground Death. I'm not really sure about that though. I'm not 100% certain. In fact, let me do this. Let me get rid of those Choppers. I'm going to go +4 or I'm going to go to 4-cost cards and add 2 of the Rebeccas just for testing purposes. And then we will run a Ground Death. Hang on, let me go to Ground Death. Maybe we'll run 2 or 3 of these, and we'll go -1 Hakuba. Maybe that's a little bit of a better look for the, for the future direction of this deck. Again, at least for the time being, before we see any more extra support that could take this deck into a totally different direction. Well, all right, guys, that's all I got for y'all today. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me get the outro page on here. And, yeah, I appreciate everybody who made it this far. Thanks for all the support, guys. And, hey, if you're just liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing my stuff, or using my TCG Player affiliate link, you're helping me out big time. I really, really appreciate that, guys. I really appreciate it. And for everyone who's going above and beyond, donating through Patreon or PayPal, the Playmat supporters, the YouTube members, and the Discord community, again, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. All right, I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Until next time, peace.